That must be made clear. But he's been looking surprisingly good. He's got promise. And of course, on this side of the map, well, it's Reynor. The man with the Latin word for king, or Spanish word, or any Romance language word for king in his name. Need I say more? Interesting though, Blackburn. Wait. Yeah, was Blackburn map 1 for? Yeah, Blackburn. Okay, it was. I was like, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't. I don't remember that, but Blackburn in a PvZ is a bit problematic if you're playing the new Gateway Man style, because the Protoss kind of gets their 4th base for free, and the Zerg cannot take the 4th base at the gold. Or when I say, sorry, the Protoss kind of gets their 4th base at the gold for free. And the Zerg can't really do that, because of course Stalkers can hit the hatchery from the other side of the minerals, and of course hatcheries are armored, so Stalkers kill it even faster, and it really causes this problem where it's instead of it being a significant income lead for the Zerg, as most gold bases are, instead it's a significant gold lead or income lead for the Protoss player, which really makes it difficult. So we're gonna have to see what Art goes for. How does he utilize that? I don't know, but we're gonna find out here. For now, it's early game PvZ. Not much to talk about. It's funny. We've been talking about how cool the new Gateway Man style PvZ is. It's like, oh wow, it plays a lot like TVZ. I mean, it's different, of course, but similar ideas: heavy multitasking, expansion, map pressure, expansions, all that fun stuff. And we say, oh yeah, you know, this plays kind of like TVZ. But by that same metric is so we got a little bit of lag there. Sorry about that. Clean feed, please. By the same metric, the fun thing is we don't have a lot to talk about in the early game for the most part. Similar idea. But Art, of course, Stargate for now. But that's just how you open it with hero style. You get, well, some number of oracles. If you go triple oracle, that does mean that you, well, I mean, it means you're going to have a later blink, but it's going to time out with +1. Single oracle means that in general, you're going to have a much faster blink before 6 minutes, and your +1 will be delayed. Also, of course, got to point out, Art did not go for a hatch block. So it means he's not playing aggressive with these depths, but he didn't really have plans for it either. Okay, interesting. Void Ray on the way. Art may be looking to play a Skytoss style, which I don't know how I feel about that personally, but you know, we'll see. I've seen Skytoss done well, and certainly it feels stronger than it did when it was the only style. Because, oh yeah, second Void Ray. Okay, so folks, you know the story. 330-ish third base. Looks like Art is going to delay that one a little bit. 415, second Stargate, mass voids. Go, go, go. But of course, Queen Walks are not nearly as good. So there are different responses. Now, we see Lair Tech Queen Walks, where you kind of walk across the map and drop some creep with some Overlords, or you go for some sort of Roach Corruptor tech. A couple different options, but Queen Walks are just not nearly as impactful as they once were. But okay, are immediately into ground. So single Stargate Void. This is not all that common coming in from Art. We're going to have to see how well it works out for the man. Excuse me. Okay, so there we go. Roachborn on the way, but Art is not really committing to this super hard. In fact, he's got Charge on the way, 5 additional gateways. And he's only on 3. Yeah, so I think we're going to see a time. Yeah, War Prism's going to be on the way. This is pretty cool. For a while, Nerf race strat, yeah, right. But for a while, we were seeing these 2 Void Ray into charge that Archon all-ins off of effectively a fake third. And they were catching Zergs off guard because, well, okay, the typical response then was you greed out against Stargate play. But I believe Art has made more. I want to say he's at 3 voids right now. I'm not sure what the actual number is. But Rainer's gonna go over. Says, "Oh, there's no third. I mean, kind of there is, but not really." So a bunch of Zealots warp in. 8 of them go down, and I guess it is only double void. I could have sworn I saw a third on the way, but double void ray on the map here. Zealot's looking to run on forward, and a warp prism in the main base. Oh, okay, you got to be very careful here. What are you going for? There we go. Yeah, force field him in the main base. That is fantastic here. Queens, they're now locked away and just kind of continuously warp in sentries to make sure that one happens. Void Ray's opening on up, but there are still queens on the natural. One queen's going to go down, but Void Ray staying alive. One of them stays alive. Now the Zealots chasing into the third base here. Queens have been released from their prison, from their personal hell, and the Zealots are not really finding all that much. Where'd the warp prism go? I think the warp prism died. So this is just not going to work. The Zealots may knock some queens down, and that's something. But this Void Ray will not last for forever, and lack of a warp prism kind of means this one has been shut down. Zealot's coming in, warped in the main base of Art, or the natural of Art, but when you have that long of a rally distance, it's just not really getting much of anything. The Void Ray does need to be dealt with before the queens die, and that is, you know, a little bit annoying. But 2 more shots, yeah, that's just it. Cool build there from Art, but did not have the Archons. Yeah, L Ray, because it's got a great big L. Void Rays. Imagine going voids. I mean, I suppose you can't avoid it. Now, of course, Art lost game 1, so he's going to Glittering Ashes game 2, and it does seem like the Nouveau Protoss style does appreciate the larger maps, really because it just they have more gap between, say, losing some of their stalkers and being able to make something happen. But Reynor is not interested in a long game. Reynor is not interested in allowing Art to do whatever Art wants to do. Instead, he's got a drone, on the other side. He's gonna proxy a hatchery, as this is, of course, a quicker pool. And where does he go? That's the question. Nexus is down, so we cannot block the Nexus. Oh, it's on the high ground? Is this a boom build? It's a boom build. Okay. This is not something that Art technically... Oh, he sees it now. Fine. Okay. Okay. But yeah, Reynor, he's taking a page out of Boom's book. So exciting. The question is, with the amount of probes getting pulled here, well, okay, so Art going full defense here. I think it's 5 probes that actually kills that before it completes, but 4 means it barely, you know, you're going to kill it shortly thereafter. You get a little creep, but you should be fine. The Broodlings are annoying, but as Zerglings find their way onto the other side, with this Forge coming up, it's going to be hard for the Lings to bust on through, as cannons do eventually complete. We're going to have to see, because Reynor does have his natural on the way, but no, he's building more Lings. He's building more and more and more Lings here. This is committed from the Italian Stallion. And we're going to have to see just what he wants to do with this. Because I don't think the hatchery won't get up super well. Cannon's already on the way. I don't know that Reynor punches through this all that well. And actually finds himself supply blocked until his hatcheries do complete. There's a little bit more supply, but again, the hatch is going to... Well, it's going to die pretty quickly. That being said, the Zealot does fall. Ling's now being made on the high ground. But it's only 1 larva popped out, so only 1 set of Lings in there. Broodlings are going to try to find something, but they're not, and the Queen will not complete. So this is held. Reynor did not get nearly what he wanted. He's going to try to find a couple probes, but not really going to get all that much. It's a good scout, sure, but again, Reynor didn't get what he wanted. He's going to posture, and it looks like Art is setting himself already up for a third base, because he understands that Reynor can't put pressure on. His natural is just barely done. He has no gas. He has yeah, okay, he built the gas, but he's not mining out of it. I guess he's gonna start mining from it eventually. So he's eventually gonna have speed, but this is gonna be about a 5-minute speed. not a 330 speed. So there really is nothing outside of these random lings that actually they're gonna find a little bit of value outside of these random lings that will prevent Art from just taking a ludicrously early third base. But he's not going to go for that. Instead, choosing to play the more sedate route, stately route, as it were. Art is a gentleman. Okay, so how does Reynor find his way out of this game? Because this is, if Art wins the game, this is going to be the game that Art wins. It is just, well, Reynor committed a lot to that one. He found literally 0 damage. And sure, maybe Warp Gate is slightly delayed. But, I mean, we see speed, it's just 440. Speed is not yet done. Reynor, his third base only just now completing. He's only on 39 workers. And, well, it's really a question of what Art wants to go for. So Warp Prism's on the way, +1 about halfway done. Robo Bay on the way behind this as well. So Disruptor drops maybe. I don't see Colossus without a third. And I feel like I would have liked to see Art just take that quick third. It really cement your macro advantage, but that's not what's going to happen. Instead, he's going to take a page out of Hero's book and get aggressive with a couple gateway units and an early Warp Prism. This is not meant to kill Reynor necessarily. What it is meant to do is just put a little pressure on before, say, Disruptors. There we go. Disruptors are on the way. Warp Prism speed as well as Lings. Now they're sharking around. They're trying to find something. And now Art wants to take a third, but he can't because Lings are there and Reynor finds really good value. I think he knocked down an Adept. Certainly he gets a lot of damage on another. And the Queen's here being defensive. It means the Warp Prism can't hang around for all that long. Queen's on the high ground as well. Adepts are, well, they're rather low, so they're not going to get much of anything either. Art, he commits to this, he doesn't get anything, but we're gonna have to see if he gets something from the Disruptors, because one is done, second one is gonna be on the way. Of course, 2 Disruptors one-shot literally anything in the game. Oh, that's not true. They don't one-shot Ultras. I think that's it, actually. They don't one-shot, they don't one-shot Thors either, but anyway, Ling's now again denying this third base. It's 6 minutes in, and sure, the game time is not exactly representative because this was an aggressive build from Reynor and that messed with everything. But even still, the economy of Art is not where it needs to be. As the Lings, they surround everything. He hot pick up on the Warp Prism, saves the probe, saves an Adept, 2 still fall. And again, Reynor is just, he's dominating the map. With the small contingent of late speedlings, he is dominating the map here and making it so damn hard for, well, for Art to take his third, to do what he wants to do. Now, I don't know that Art actually wants to take this third. Additional gateways are on the way. And I think we're going to see what amounts to a 2-base all-in. 2 Colossus, 2 Disruptors. No Blink necessarily. And oh no, Art, he's going to lose the Warp Prism. Now, Disruptors are going to be, they're not going to kill anything. So there we go. There's going to be a recall. 1 Disruptor will fall. Fly him right over the Queens. That is horrendous. There's an all-in where you go double Disruptor, double Colossus, you push with Blink Stalkers, and it's powerful. Single Disruptor, though, yeah, that's not good. As they say in Valencia, that's no bueno. Okay. So Disruptor gets a little bit, gets Ravager, but losing a Warp Prism, losing a Disruptor, third base being done at 8 minutes when Reynor has his 4th done. I would love to see what Art could do in a straight-up game. Which is fair. I mean, I understand why Art is choosing to not play a straight-up game. Reynor is so scary in these macro setups, but I don't know. The new Protoss style, it seems strong enough that maybe it's make something happen. But regardless of what I want to see, that's not what we're seeing in this series. Art now looking for another shot. Doesn't get it. Okay, now Stalkers, Colossus, Disruptors running on forward. Single. See, this is the problem. By losing that Disruptor early, losing the Warp Prism early, we don't have double Colossus anymore. It's single Colossus. Sure, there are more Disruptors, but 37 Banelings are on the way. Baneling speed done in just about 20 seconds. +1 melee. It's not going to be relevant for this fight, but Reynor's got 160 supply. Now, his army supply is lower than the Protoss, something we do have to pay attention to. Art has built a terrifying Protoss army, but he is very much all in. Disruptor shot. Oh, that's a lot of Banes, but we got to keep an eye on the minimap here. Coming in from the side, the surround that Reynor's looking for. That's the real question here. So now here comes. He pulls the trigger. Baneling speed is done from the backside. That's the big thing. Good force fields now to start. Actually, good force fields in general. But on the right side, the army is crunching on through here from Reynor. And yeah, the Banelings, they're gonna be distracting, really. So much of the chaff has gone down, and sure, there is a Colossus, there is a Disruptor that remains, but 2 Disruptors fell, and now here come the Roaches, here come the Queens. Good split. Actually, it's going to get a Ravager, but even still, the split is damn fine indeed. Colossus is getting very, very low, and it's just a bunch of Stalkers. A Colossus, a hope and a dream, but Art, he does not dream. He's not even asleep. Game number 3 of this series. It is AqueroN. It is time. It's been a moment since I cast a TVT, actually. I wonder where we're going from here. Okay, so AqueroN, Proxy Barracks, going for Proxy Reaper play. I'm curious what... Actually, wait, no. Well, okay, no, it looks like he's going to Proxy second Barracks. I was going to say for a second... I was thinking this was Proxy Marauder play, but I do expect to see a second gas going down now with that additional barracks, which would tell us it's Reaper play. And we're gonna have to see where he goes from here, because 2 barracks on the other side of the map is an interesting strat. 2 racks with just Marines is not something that we see all that often, but actually looks like we're only on single gas, so this may be an interesting Marauder play. You get concussive shell Marauders with one barracks. You get Marines out of the other, and you just have a lot of stuff. Kind of the next level iteration, but okay, it's going to be Reapers. And there's the second. Okay, no, AqueroN did get a second guess, so we're okay there. But 2 racks Reaper play is scary if you are not prepared for it. Time is going to get the scout, but it will be a delayed one. It will be a scout pretty much as the Reapers are already in production, but luckily for him, he's gone for Barracks Double Gas Factory. That build that has defined TVT since it has been developed. What, about a year and a half ago at this point? Kind of keeps you safe against everything. First Reaper out on the map now. Time is going to have... actually, not even building any Reapers. Oh, no, he did. Okay, so he did build that Reaper. Marines behind that one because he needs to... He wants, well, not even needs to save gas, but you're never going to out-Reaper the Reaper. You're never going to out-Reaper Mass Reaper. So you get Marines, a little bit more consistent DPS, even if they do die. And you buy room. You say, look, I need to buy time for Hellions to pop out. That's really what matters. Is with the SCV pull with everything else, 1 Reaper will get very low for AqueroN. Now, the number we're looking at, by the way, folks, is 6. 6 Reapers are where this starts to get, well, this becomes intensely problematic for our for time, because 6 Reapers one-shot Marines and they one-shot SCVs. So that's what we're looking at. 3 Reapers find their way on in. So SCVs are starting to fall here. 1, 2, make it not 3, but well, make it 3 anyways, because well, you got to be careful jumping onto the low ground. You really don't want to eat that. Oh, okay, never mind. That was not a jump. That was not a grenade shot. That was just a jump. As Reaper's diving on top, 1 Reaper falls, and this is actually starting to snowball a little bit. The Hellion is still there, and once you get to 2 or 3, it really becomes an easier hold. But 3 workers have gone down. Reapers are starting to fall, and AqueroN continues to build more. Looking for a different angle this time. Again, diving into the mineral line. He's not going to find much of anything, but actually, those are some vulnerable Hellions indeed. So good splits here coming down. 1 Reaper falls. Second one down, goes down. Third, and they're all dead. 1 Reaper remains. And that is that. Hey, Voshers. How's it going? If you're asking who am I, I'm Beowulf. You know this, though. You're a mod in my channel. If you're asking how am I, well, I had a great time in Texas. Well, a decent time. And then the Texas GOP platform came out while I was there, and I'm like, ah. Yet more reasons why I don't want to go spend the rest of my life in Texas. But anyways. Now Reapers, they will be able to delay this command center just a little bit. Of course, two-shotting SCVs, and they've gotten a decent amount of workers, but with 3 Hellions on the high ground, I mean, this is just not really going to get all that much done. Maybe they trade. Yeah, they do get a Hellion, but the Reapers are going down. Reapers are dying. Oh, one more? No, they're not going to get one more. So, grand total of, I think, 6 or 7 SCVs died. Yeah, pretty much, Fishers. I had a lot of fun. I tweeted out that, 100% of my stream income this month. Saying, 100% of my streaming income goes to abortion advocacy and access. And a couple clowns pop. Not a ton, luckily, because I guess just the Twitter circles that show up, but enough. That's like, great, guys. Thank you. But it looks like the Banshee's not really going to get much of anything here. It's 2 workers, but the Cyclones acting defensively are, they're going to kill that off. So Banshee doesn't get much. Hellion in the mineral line gets 1 more. But at the end of the day, 6 workers die, 3 workers die, 8 Reapers is the expensive thing. So AqueroN, if he hadn't lost so many Reapers, he'd be in a wonderful spot. As it stands, time is feeling pretty happy. Okay, now AqueroN on the map. 4 Cyclones, which is honestly a lot of Cyclones. Mech field accelerator just about done as AqueroN does look to move into mech behind this, which is it's just something that AqueroN likes to do in general. But Raven auto turret harass on the other side. AqueroN, he's not pulling his SCVs. Now he does get some Marines on the other side, but auto turret gets dropped here defensively as well. Luckily enough, actually none of these Cyclones have died just yet. Tank sieging up, looking to change that, but 9 SCVs have died for AqueroN in the main base. He just did not react the Raven harass whatsoever, and while Mag Field Accelerator is done, he didn't really lock on at anything that is armored, that has Mag Field. But okay. And that's weird. I keep hearing sounds. I'm like, it sounds like maybe I'm just gonna put my headphones back on. But it goes and it sounds like someone's actually casting. Like I have some stream being weird. And it's not. We're good. Okay, but now another auto turret harass goes down. AqueroN really doesn't take much damage to that one. Raven in the main base looking for a little bit more. And it's gonna get a little bit more. AqueroN, of course, third base on location, trying to find his way back. And I'm not sure if that was a medevac or a Raven, but certainly fighting value there on now AqueroN. Vikings, they're looking to chase this extra Raven down. They are not successful, though. And now we get to see something that I enjoy. Well, not necessarily mech versus bio, but mirrors that have disparate win conditions. I think that's when StarCraft gets by far the most interesting. Where instead of it being, say, a ZVZ where both players have gone Link Bane, it's like, I need to explode my opponent's Banelings. It's Muta versus Roaches, where you have different ways of controlling the map and different ways of playing the map. It gets really cool. But now, Cyclone just sitting on the edge of tank range, killing off a couple Marines, but Marines, great. Each not all that impactful. AqueroN, though, his supply is doing decently well. It looks like he has been able to get away with his third base on location. That's going to be good enough for him as he moves into tank production now, so should be able to at least hold this ground. And I'm curious as to Time's anti-tank ability, because Time is an impatient TVT player. The amount of games that I've seen him throw in TVT in the last 6 months, because he gets himself in a good spot and just tries to pile drive to run into siege tank lines. I'm not going to say it's 15. I don't know how many it is, but it's more than 2. Shout out to those games against Ryung and Special and Katowice that he very much did that. Now here comes the army of time running forward. Lacking, well, actually, no, he does have 2 Ravens there, and actually they're pretty high on energy, but good shot. The Viking lead from AqueroN makes it really hard for time to get in there with this Raven. So, yeah, the siege is annoying, but if I'm AqueroN, I'm maybe even considering just lifting that command center, floating it over to the other side. Yeah, you lose gas mining for a minute, but this is, in fact, a rather scary line. But okay, he's going to run forward. That's going to be 1 dead Raven. Gets the second one, sacrifices a couple Vikings for it. But it's not like time is really building Vikings anyways. So he still maintains that air supply lead, or the air superiority in general. And that means he can move into Liberators, which means that this position is one that's not going to last all that long. Meanwhile, Cyclones out there. Yeah, okay, there we go. Locking on 6 Cyclones. Magfield on the orbital here. Mass repair, and, well, the bio's going to force him out. So nice idea, but there we go. Concussive Shells is going to knock down 2 of these Cyclones, and it distracts time, sure, but it's not really getting all that much of them now. The Marines, they're looking to run on forward, knocking down Liberators. 1 goes down, second one stays alive. Now the tanks, they're forced back here. 1 tank goes down, second one goes down, third one goes down. Great set of moves there for AqueroN if we ignore the supply. We ignore the fact that, that despite that, time is outmining him pretty nicely, is a significant army supply lead, and AqueroN is not at the point just yet where he can dominate all the spaces he needs to. All right, but here comes the Biostimulant once again. The tank's not quite sieged up everywhere, and the Marauders are just chewing on through things. Vikings on the backside, they're going to knock down some of these. Actually, they're not going to get. They're going to get. No, they're going to get 3. Okay, but that's just going to do it. AqueroN does not have enough. He cannot hold off. This pressure did not find enough value, and that means now that time is up 1. Kaizi up 3-0. If there's a map, there is a matchup where Platinum Heroes takes a map. I think it's going to be this one. Well, it's this matchup. It is time versus AqueroN. I think they are. I don't think here at Spirit HateMe is close. I don't think Reynor Art is all that close. But I think AqueroN has some pretty decent TVT. So if there's anyone that does it, it will be the man with the plan. As he's got a little bit of an interesting SCV route here going on down, scouting around. Now, whether he thinks this is a proxy, well, certainly. What is he doing with that SCV? It's not quite. We wouldn't. Oh. Does he know that this is TVT and not TVP? Because this is like an anti-Protoss Macarax. Right? This is the kind of thing we would see. Again, this is what we saw all really happen like every TVP in Katowice. But I guess. Let's see how many gases he's double gas, so it's not going to be Proxy Marauder. With how short rush distances are, you know, you can do that. You can proxy on your side of the map, and you're really fine because it's Berlingrad. So I'm curious to see what AqueroN has in store for us in this game. This is interesting. This is I've enjoyed some of the ideas that Platinum Heroes have had in general. We saw HateMe. Oh. Huh. Reactor going down, barracks or factory on the way. Proxy 111 coming out of AqueroN outside of his 3rd base, and it really is. It's not that bad from a rush distance perspective. This isn't gonna be proxied Hellion drops, is it? I have no idea what's happening, but I'm excited to find out. Meanwhile, time is doing things that are much more standard. Barracks, double gas factory, Reaper on the way. He's actually getting a 2nd Reaper, which is less so. But he did take damage from the Reapers of AqueroN earlier, and he just, I guess, wants to make sure that that's okay. But Reacted Reapers are actually going to be the name of the game for AqueroN in this build, and he's going to build more stuff. Hellions as well. Starport dropping down again right here. Listen, I would have expected to see a tech lab go down. All right, get some tech out of this, but it appears it's going to be some sort of Hellion Reaper drop / elevator. That's pretty cool. It's new. I don't know that time's going to be prepared for this. He's building Reaper. He's gone up to 3 Reapers. So he's going to go for the 3 Reaper 2 Hellion top idea, harassment. And actually that could find a lot of value. Because there's no wall that AqueroN has. He's building his supply depots back behind his mineral line. So there's nothing really to stop 3 Reapers 2 Hellions from diving into the main. But also, that'll be Time's first idea of what's happening. And at that point, Reapers and Hellions coming out of AqueroN will be diving into his own main base and getting elevated. And that is a lot more value, or a lot more damage potential that AqueroN's army represents than what Time's represents. So, folks, I think in just a little bit here, we're going to have our game get very weird. Excuse me, and I'm absolutely here for it. So 3 Hellions in the medevac, and the Reaper's just jumping up on the high ground. You gotta be careful though, and there we go. Oh, that's unfortunate, but there we go. We're gonna be okay. KD8 charge is just bouncing things up for a second, and now it's actually a fairly significant army from AqueroN in his opponent's main base, looking for some big line-up shots. He's gonna get 1. 3 workers go down. Rains are just dying as they spawn. Cyclone really not getting much of anything here, and yeah, this is absolutely caught Time 100% off guard. He does not really know what's gonna happen. Mules are gonna land. 15, 17, 20 workers are dying. There's just too much one-shot. There's actually just too much damage in this army. Time, we see he's gonna get a grin. He's gonna move his head around because there is absolutely nothing that Time can do in this game. 42 supply to 13. And there we have it. AqueroN, in fact, he takes a game. Now we move into game number 1 of this final best of 2, unless HateMe 2-0s. And now we got to talk about what this would mean for standings. Because going into week 9, end of week 8, Kaizi sitting at 7-1. But they were tied because while they were sitting at 7-1, they only had 19 points, not 20, because they had played in ace matches, too many ace matches. And also, their map score not incredible. 32 and 18, only plus 14. So, while they by far had the best series score, or best week score, round score, whatever you want to say, at 7-1, DPG, Shopify, and Alpha X are all above them. If Kaizi wins today, without going to an ace match, they will gain 3 points, going to 22 points. Shopify, they gain 2 points. They go to 21. So Kaizi, if they win this match, they leapfrog DPG, they leapfrog Shopify, they leapfrog Alpha X, unless, well, who does Alpha X play this week? They play Team NV. So if Alpha X can win that one and avoid an ace match, then they would go and they'd go back to tied, top of the table. But Kaizi, for today at least, if Spirit wins this map right here, they will secure themselves top seed going into week 10. And remember, folks, we only go to week 11 in the WTL before we go to playoffs. So things come down to the wire. There's not a lot decided. Yeah, the difference between playoffs and not playoffs is still, it's kind of big. Well, in fact, it's only one win. If Team GP wins a week without going to ace, and Freaks loses without going to an ace, they tie themselves up, and then it gets all sorts of crazy. Right now, going into week 9, there are three people tied for second effectively. First place is only 1 point ahead, and then yeah, not a lot is decided. But now the Reaper into the main base here, looking for something. But I mean, do I need to talk about it? This is the dance as old as time. This is the waltz. HateMe is a decent player, PJ Vindahoos, but Spirit is Spirit is far better than a 68. I think he's like a 74. Food industry, I am not sure what you're saying when you say intra-based cutout lineup rate. I have no idea what you mean. Hey Grumpage, it's going well. I'm enjoying being back in New Hampshire and not in Dallas anymore. And I maybe have. Oh, is he gonna get the creep timber? Yeah. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. Unfortunate, unlucky. I maybe have some really exciting news depending on what happens. I'm waiting, but so Yeah, I have one bit of exciting news that is guaranteed that I believe happens next week. I forget. I'm not the one that's announcing it, so I can't say. Yeah, so next week. Next week is the announcement for that sometime. That is the announcement. And there may be one other thing that is not guaranteed. But anyway, scouting in the main base, that nice 415 timing. HateMe is going to say, you went quick third base here. You're Spirit. Spirit, of course, is a Terran that does not like to play in the mid. He tries to get in the late game as quick as he can. Which sometimes backfires, of course, because sometimes if you don't put enough pressure on, the Zerg takes the map, and it's like, great. Lings and Banes from every angle, and you're dead. But 2000 Atmospheres is enough of a map where you can play defensive enough that it's going to work out for him decently well. I'm actually really curious to see how Spirit is able to adapt, is able to play on the new pool, because that is a much more, it seems like to me, like it's a much more aggressive map pool than previously. So, ooh, nice job there, Spirit, finding the creep tumors with just by killing some rocks. As now the Hellions looking to dive on it. Wait, does he get a queen? Please don't tell me he gets a queen. Okay. He does lose some Hellions, but he gets some links in exchange. Really not the end of the world. Doing a great job dealing with creep. He's killed 5 creep tumors. And as we see that, I mean, HateMe's creep spread is decent, but it's not incredible. But yeah. I'm hoping I'll have 2 really big pieces of news. One really big piece of news next week sometime. My guess is like Wednesday. I don't really know. I haven't been given a date. Just we're announcing this next week, and the other one hopefully will be, well, this weekend. But anyways, now Banshees dive on in. 4 workers go down, 5 workers go down. Spirit finding nice value here, but one Banshee getting rather low. One of them, yes, exactly. The Earth is flat, and I love that video of a couple of people saying, yeah, the Earth is flat. We'll prove this scientifically, and they prove that the Earth is round. And they're like, no, this can't be right. We did our experiment wrong. Although, shout out to the man who wanted to build a rocket and convince flat earthers to pay for it. I am going to go up and I'm going to prove that there's no curvature of the Earth. And I think that crash landed. I think he passed away from that. But still, shout out to getting flat earthers to pay for you to build a rocket. Anyway, it's gonna be Mutiling Bane on the docket for HateMe in this game number 1. And in general, I like Mutiling Bane. It feels like the Hydra and the quick lurker idea is less powerful, just as Terrans have become more and more skilled at using ghosts properly. PG Vin, you want to know what's curved? There we go. But okay, now here comes the push of Spirit on the right side. Again, it's not a big army here. It's just it's a bit of light pressure. Tank siege up in the line of sight blocker. Ooh, good target fire there. So many of the Banelings fallen. We say it's not a big army, but HateMe has lost all of his. So now the army again moving forward. Tanks again running forward here, looking for the 2nd level of siege. And for now, at the very least, creep spread will be denied, will be removed around this 4th base. So ensuing pushes are going to be a lot harder, or a lot easier now for Spirit to be able to push on through as he sets up double the army supply, up upgrades, and the Spire is only just now completing. This is why, well, I do like Mutiling Bane play. I've never seen a concave by 70. Wow. Wow, Grumpage, I am so offended. But okay, now tanks are going to get a much better siege up position here, a little bit closer to the base. Now the Banes come rolling on forward because Bane's speed is done. But this is anti-timing for HateMe. His 1-1 is done now as the fight ends. So yes, the tank went down, and Ling run by on the other side is looking for something, but looks like there are enough Marines and Medivacs here to keep that one alive, and Spirit onto the 4th base, stimming in. Yeah, there's just not enough. HateMe's dead. Spirit takes game 1. So now, folks, what is now guaranteed to be our last match of the day. Kite's up 4-1. HateMe can win a map here and do wonderful things for, not wonderful things necessarily, but do necessary things for map differential. But that's about it. So this is for pride, this is for map differential. At this point, Kite's is guaranteed top billing out of today, at the end of today, for top spot in the bracket. Now, of course, that may change. Alpha X may beat NV tomorrow. No, Grumpage. I got sent that by a friend, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I have a logo. We're not in my out of game screen, but you can. I'm actually pretty happy with the branding I have. Shout out to Sun Lily, who is a literal goddess. And she's done all my branding. I think I need to make my out of game screen a little bit more minimal. Right now, it's too much things that are not just my camera. But anyways, Pride of Altaris map number 2. If there's a Zerg map, it is this one, or maybe Glittering. But anyway, Reaper now on the other side of things, looking for a little bit of damage, and well, it didn't really get much last time, but folks, we know how this works. Although I gotta say, by the way, I've been messing around with this. This is not a hint. It's I have a universal adapter that just lives in my backpack since the last time I was in Europe in like sophomore year of undergrad, but it's fun to fiddle with. So if someone sees this, like, it's a hint. No, it's not. Okay, is that a second factory? No, it's not. But factory behind the mineral line like that is a little bit suspect. Just a little bit, because that means maybe there's gonna be some sort of that's a quick third gas. Is this gonna be Blue Flame Hellion play coming out of Spirit in this game? I don't know. Whatever we got, it's gonna be something a little normal. I'm sponsored by generic travel universal adapter company. There's not even a brand name on this. I couldn't even tell you who made it. I think my brother got it off Amazon when he was in Switzerland. Just gave it to me when I traveled. Bale, yeah. Am I an attractive woman who has a child? PJ Van Hoos? I don't think so. So no. It is actually really satisfying to play with. But anyway, okay, so it's going to be BC Rush coming down from Spirit in this game, and that is something. It's not going to be Blue Flame, but certainly I think we're going to see Spirit go into mech here too, just because part of Altaris, while it is a rather Zerg-friendly map, if you go mech, actually that changes that by a good bit. Because suddenly it's really hard for the Zerg to put any pressure on with multiple chokes and multiple levels. And you can secure 4 bases really easily. You can start to hold low ground, and then you get that mech death push at 200 supply with 2-2. And it becomes, well, scary. Hey, Jiggly Piggly. Well, you got your StarCraft fix today. I'll be live tomorrow for WTL Day 2 of Round 9 at 7 p.m. once again. And then EPT Korea, as I always do. And then Sunday, again, WTL at 7 p.m. I maybe have a show match set up. I need to get the other player at 4 p.m. We may also at some point things may change as I may be hosting a pylon show sometime between now and travel day for Talent, which is Wednesday. Oh, Hunter of Milfs. Ew. That makes me uncomfy. Anyway, third base going down here for Spirit. There's 1-1s now on the way, but interestingly enough, this is not going to be Meg. We got Stim on the way, so BC into bio is going to be the name of the game for Spirit at this point. That is a lot of Lings looking to deny that third base. But here's the thing. Look what he's doing. He's only sending a couple Lings out. As he is really going, he's going for, this is almost all in with the number of Lings that he's made right now. He's only had 51 workers, but he wants to absolutely ambush Spirit as he goes down to the other side. He's going to find a bunch of these Marines, but he's going to get 2 SCVs. Like, even if you get the Marines here, you raise the wall, and it's not really getting that much. On the other side, Battlecruise, they're going to knock this Spore down. I don't know how many Queens we have, but they're not in the main base right now, so 4 workers are going on, 5 workers go down. Tank sieged up defensively. Hate me, this is not the right idea. This has not worked out for him all that well. And battle cruisers, yeah, they're queens in the main base, sure, but 9 workers have died. They're going to be able to rotate on over to the third, where this spore is not going to be allowed to survive. Yeah, no, I know PJ Vindu's. I'm aware of everything, and it doesn't really bother me. I'm just... You gotta lean into it, right? Memes. Okay, so 2 BCs. Now they're going to find their way on over to the bottom side. More, I mean, this is just... Considering HateMe committed so hard to that amount of lings to deny a third base that he didn't get much. He denied the mining of a third base a little bit, as the BCs have killed so many workers and spores and overlords and everything else. That was absolutely not worth it there for the Zerg player. Interesting idea, and if he'd been able to catch, say, a middle line worth of SCVs. Hello there, Mr. 3-star Bonar. Okay, now Lings onto the other side. They're going to get the bunker down, but this defensive position that Spirit has made, and the Lings, they're not going to trade cost effectively in the slightest. Take out the high ground actually is doing more damage to the bio than the other, than the Lings are, as now the BCs, they get the 4th base, so it's a 3-base Zerg. Lings fall, 3 workers died. It's really not all that big of a deal. And Spirit is not, I mean, he's not fully in his element just yet. It was good. We were able to celebrate my birthday. Had some incredible barbecue. Read wonderful things about the new party platform while I was down there. That was fun, but I got to see Claire for the first time in a couple months, so we love that one. As now here comes the bio stimming in. There are so many queens defensively, so it's not really easy for Spirit to push through. That being said, if you section off queens one by one, it's a lot easier still. And Bailey's speed is only about 50% complete. So, thank you, Dynamics Boon. My birthday was about 20 days ago, June 5th, but I was able to celebrate it just a little bit delayed because I went, again, seeing my partner. As now, look at the target fire here on the battlecruiser. They're just killing the Banes. The Army of Spirit does not care so long as the Banes do not make the connections that they're looking for. So, more Baneleys do fall. Queen's kind of zoned out on dealing with the battlecruisers by the Marines, by the tanks. And Spirit is just, this is a game of attrition here. He says, I know I'm on 3 bases. I know you're on 3 bases too because I killed your 4th. I'm just going to trade out. I'm going to trade out for energy. I'm going to trade out for Banelings. And I'm just going to sit here, and eventually you're going to run out of what you need. Okay. Again, the Queen's running forward. And we got a big counterattack coming in from HateMe on the north side. Actually, not all that big. Never mind. Just a couple Lings, and the bunker is there. So, yeah, you're going to lose the supply depot, but Spirit's going to be okay with that one. Jiggly Piggly, I am 26 and 20 days. As Bailey's now looking to roll in, busting the wall down, but yeah, it's not really going to get much of anything else. So now here comes the great concave of HateMe. He's going to try to break this one down, but look at the pre-split Spirit has. He says, yeah, no, not really. Tanks coming in from everywhere. The Banelings, the bane of HateMe's existence, rather, because they get no connections whatsoever. So many Marines are still alive, so many tanks are still alive, and now there really is not much of anything that HateMe can do to break this out. It is a 60 supply lead. 3rd base going down pretty damn quickly. Transfuses are being spent, but it's dead anyways. HateMe says GG. Kaizi wins the 5-1 victory